We've got on the set right now from New Orleans, Michael Morrison, the owner of the Sugar Mill. Michael, thanks for being here with us. Appreciate you being here. And also Anthony Triguero, which is the owner of the Ultimate Combat Championship or Championship, UKC.
Yes.
And thank you also, Anthony, for being here. And well, Anthony, tell us a little bit about UKC. Tell us a little bit about your organization.
UKC is the Ultimate Combat Championships. What we're doing is we're trying to bring some good, wholesome events down here to the Southeast Louisiana. We're looking to expand northern, eastern, western sides of Louisiana, maybe Texas and Florida here soon. We've teamed up with the Sugar Mill, which is downtown New Orleans, 1101 Convention Center Boulevard.
Okay.
And we're going to throw an event there on June 9th, which is a Saturday night. And we want to make sure that all the home viewers know that if you come down for this event, a lot of people think New Orleans, if you're not from here, it's in a great area. We're talking, 8 blocks from the Riverwalk. We're 6 blocks from Harris Casino. I mean, it's a really good area. It's not no dark, questionable areas. We got to worry about getting mugged or nothing like that.
Right. Well, Michael, tell us a little bit about the Sugar Mill and how you came in on this with Anthony.
Well, it's a new venue that opened up in New Orleans in the Warehouse District, which is a very prominent, area of the city. And a lot of, condominiums are going up in the area. And I'm gonna tell you, I was very interested in the fight game for a long time.
Okay.
And I think what really intrigues people about the MMA is that it's probably the closest thing to a street fight you're gonna come.
Right.
And it really is. And
I think you're right.
And I think a lot of people just the ignorance of the sport. They thought it was a very violent and brutal sport. But I'm gonna tell you, in my opinion, it's safer than boxing. Because if I'm punching you in the face, what's the first thing you want to do?
Yeah.
You want to grab me.
Yeah.
In boxing, they separate you.
Right.
But in MMA, they allow you to go to ground, allow you to grapple, so you don't take the same amount of jabs or power shots to the face you would in a boxing match. So you guys don't have the brain damage, concussions, and things like that. We're really excited about it. The same guy that's going to produce our show does all the shows for Showtime and the Chuck North's new Fight League. So it's be a first-class event.
Yeah.
We're really excited. Clear Channel's taking over all our ticket sales, and we're looking to do one a month, one every other month, and we have some big-name fighters, some pro fighters, and it's a great event. I hope everybody comes out.
Yeah. Well, there's people out there that want to look you guys up, your organizations, and throw out some websites, some information out there, so our viewers out there can get in touch with you guys.
Absolutely. You can look us up at www.ukcmma.com. We have hyperlinks on there to our MySpace page. Also, you have the sugarmill.com. It's thesugarmill.com.
Sugarmillevents.com.
Right. You can go check us out on any of those pages. We have listed on our page a seating chart of the actual venue itself, the layout of the floor plan where you can go in. And it's color coded on different general admission seating. Also have VIP tables around the ring, 4 top tables, and certain rows. And what it does explains the pricing and everything for sponsorships.
Let's talk about some of the fighters that will be participating in this event. We know there's several guys that's participating in mixed martial arts these days. We talked about the growing sport. We talked about the different type of comebacks. You got your jiu-jitsu, you got your strikers, you got your grapplers. Let's talk about some of the names that's going to be participating.
Well, our headline fighter, which y'all will be seeing in a minute, is Mr. Liam McCarty. He's going to be fighting with us. He's going to be fighting a gentleman that just came over here from Brazil. His name's Rodrigo Quieres. He's a Baja Gracie black belt. They're going to be heading up our main event. Our co-main event is going to be Warren Donnelly, which has been known. He's coach for a gentleman that fights for the UFC, and he's got a big name up there. We've got a guy coming down from Revolution Dojo, which is Raheem Williams. He's going to be coming out. Tap Out Magazine's also going to be there, writing on the event. Adam Borelli's going to be there with us. So we got and a lot of local amateur fighters going to be coming down, getting part of the event. We want to get people's names out there, help get them a little exposure.
Are you looking to you said you were going to move it around. You're going to try to get at other places, or are you going to try to base things out of New Orleans area? You're going to move it around. You're going to try to do some things.
We've had some talks. We've been contacted by some big venues out of Bossier City. I don't know if you're familiar with the Century Tel Center. They contact us about doing an MMA event. I know that they're a very large venue. We're really excited about talking with them in the future about that. We are open to, we want to expand throughout the whole state, of course. We got to start, in a small pond before we look to go big. And once we get our name out there and we get some good sponsorships in with us, anyone that's interested in doing any sponsorships can also contact us on that through via the website.
With you being the president, everyone talks about this sport and how much money is being made. I mean, you see several organizations, Mark, we've talked with different organizations that came on our previous shows. Let's talk about where do you see this sport, let's say in the next 10 years, with all the organizations coming in, and right now it's good. I mean, the fruits is ripe. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I tell you what, you're going to find a lot of great athletes that are going to get into the sport. You know, a lot of times when you see a boxer, you know, it's kids from the inner city, you know, there are other opportunities. Most kids have opportunities to either play basketball, baseball. This is a different sport. I think you're going to find a lot of great athletes that are going to grow up watching the sport and want to be an MMA fighter, which is going to be big. You know, then you're going to have your top-notch athletes who learn the skills. Let's make the sport a little interesting. You know, I really believe it's going to take over boxing if it hadn't already done that.
So
you know?
do you think that you guys are probably could run into the monopoly that boxing has gotten itself into with the top promoters in the sport? And then you got the top networks, and you know, with your organization growing and doing things on the Gulf South, possibly you would be a mainstay here. And you know, how do you guys think about that?
I hope it doesn't get as bad as promoters in boxing.
Well, we like I said, we're trying to keep our events as wholesome as possible. We want, I mean, we're not going to have no girls in there in string bikinis. You know, there's a certain level of respect you want to keep, you know, when you got fighting and you have violence, but we want to keep a sexual aspect of it too. We want to, you know, we have ladies that are going to come out and work with us, so UKC girls are going to be modeling our clothes, coming out to the events, that we really wearing nice, you know, respectable outfits. So, you know, women and children and fathers and stuff alike can come out. It's a fight of all ages. Right. So, I think in 10 years we should be able to compete pretty much with any sport in the world. We're pretty much doing that now. MMA is I mean, they hold some of the biggest pay-per-view records ever to be on pay-per-view. You know, of course UFC, which you know everybody knows UFC. They've paved the way for promoters like me and ourselves to come in and be able to get involved in this type of sports.
I'll tell you, Anthony, we talked about, you know, actually forming a training facility. Because you have a lot of kids, you know, where do I go? How do I learn that? Do I go to Brazil? How do I do this? And when you actually have a training facility, train these guys on how to fight and move them up through the ranks. You know, and that's, you know, just to make it.
Yeah, that was going to be something I was going to talk about, because you know, with so many different organizations springing up, you know, offshoots of the UFC, you worry that guys that are not able to protect themselves actually get in before they're ready. And so the idea that you have something like this that would be my next question.
And I'm gonna tell you something, and that's where people like Anthony come in. You know, he's not gonna, you know, put a mismatch together just for safety reasons. And it's not fair to the crowd. You know, you want to go in there, you want to see a good battle, a good match, an even match. You know, that makes the, you know, sport.
We're trying to keep MMA what it's supposed to be about. It's about the fans and the fighters. And that's what we want to do. We want to keep it as evenly matched as possible, to bring you a good event, good fight, a good production, and you know, keep everybody safe.
Well, talk about your association with Clear Channel. You were talking a little bit about that before.
We've talked to Mr. Mike Scott, who's his productions coordinator over there for Clear Channel Radio. What do is we're in contract with them they're going to handle all our ticket sales, production, security for that. They're going to be on Clear Channel Radio. You can go to clearchannelradio.com. And basically, they're going to be handling if you want to buy tickets, if you want to check up on the event as far as sponsorships or tables, stuff like that. They'll all be on Clear Channel Radio after this weekend. We're really excited about that. Clear Channel Radio is one of the biggest radio networks in the country right now. And they've already, you know, dedicated over $100,000 worth of advertising per event, you know, to go out and broadcast it on the radio stations that they feel necessary. They got a sports station, some local radio stations that are really popular around New Orleans, like 104.1 Rock in New Orleans. We've also got Rock and Doopsie that's been working with us on this. We love him. He's a great guy. He's doing promotions with us. He's going to be talking about us at Jazz Fest coming up here soon. We just had the French Quarter Fest this past weekend. So we've been getting word out. I think
everything's moving along.
Well, it's funny. You find in the beginning a lot of sponsors want to stay away from it. It's a violent sport. We want that. I tell you what, if you're going to sell to a demographic of 21 to about 40, you better jump on board because everybody else is. So it's a fast-growing sport in the world. You know?
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about the Sugar Mill. What kind of?
It's a special event venue. We actually have a lot of, we do mostly convention events there. We have some concerts that played there. The lead singer Stained, an acoustic show there. Hinder played there. We have Green Day coming, Tony Bennett. We've got some comics, Carlos Mencia over the summer, Kathy Griffith, Cat Williams. So it's a really neat venue.
How many people is going to seat for this event?
About 2,100 seated. But we also have about 100 or so VIP tables around the ring. It's about 2,100. So it's going to be a great event. You know?
Absolutely.
Super.
And that event is going to be on, again, the date?
June 9th. June 9th. Saturday night.
And that's at the Sugar Mill on 1021 Convention Center Boulevard in New Orleans. And right down, not far from
Harris Casino, Riverwalk. It's right there.
That whole bit right there.